Look like. Check, check. I just realized there was no audio, so we'll run through that again, just in case. So, creating hopefully a tutorial to help people start building their own AI applications. So, reason for the timing of this, I just finished a few different courses to really understand the foundations of building AI apps. Consolidated it into exactly what you need to quickly get started building your own chatbots. And it's perfect timing because OpenAI just released their newest model. So the GPT 3.5 Turbo API is now available to use in applications, which is the exact same one that ChatGPT is built off of. So this is Postman. I'm going to show you how to interact with the API, and then we're going to actually um, do it all in code. This is just to give you a quick visual demonstration of what we're going to be working with. So let's say, how are you doing? Let's say this is a test. So we're going to send off a message to the GPT 3.5 Turbo model, and I'll be showing how to do this all in code in a second. But the message role as user content. This is the actual prompt that you're sending. And there's other parameters we can specify, but this is the easiest way to get started. So we send that, we wait for a request, and the response that we got. So we get all of this stuff, but the most important thing is going to be the content, which is the response. So, hello, how can I assist you with this test? So with that, that's all we really need to get started. So let's go ahead and do it in code. I've got a new application here, and we'll just launch that up on my mobile device and get started. All right. So it looks like it's still loading, but it's installing. So it's about to switch over. But this is where we're going to start. So I've also uploaded all of this onto GitHub. I'll be posting the links into the tutorial to help you follow along. But looks like we can, oh shoot. Hold on. Okay. So let's just uninstall a few apps. I actually didn't think that would be an issue. Let's run it again. So the first thing that I want to show you how to do is actually to send an API request and then get a response back. So it's probably the easiest place to start. So what we'll do is we'll just say, so we'll start with this. So for now, we're just going to make it, I guess we can say final. So we're going to start with the prompt, and then eventually we'll be parsing user input. But for now, let's start with the prompt, and then we're going to create a new function. And we'll say it's going to be an asynchronous function that is going to actually interact with the API. So the way we're going to do that, we actually need to start with a few packets. So if we open this up and just go to we need to install the HTTP packet, which you can go right here and just take this dependency. Drop it in the pub spec. And then while we're at it, we might as well add the other dependencies. So the only other one that I can think of right now is going to be Flutter spin kit, and that's just for a little loading icon. So let's take this for now and just drop it right there. And our app is totally empty right now. So, but we've got what we need. So final step is just going to be to go back here and actually add these packages. So just going to drop this here. And then also drop this one. All right, and now we're good. So the way that we're going to parse this is we need to make an HTTP call. So easiest way to do that is going to be okay, so we got a static future void function, and it's asynchronous. So all we're going to do for now is try to send a request. And we'll catch an error. And then inside, oh, whoops. So what are we going to try? We're going to try to send a message to the API. So for this, we need a few things. The first one is going to be the link to the model or the version or the API that we're sending. So conveniently, since we set this up in Postman, we have it right here. Let's just go ahead and take that link and we'll store it up top. So so we got that, and then there's a few other things that we need to do. So one of the things is this content type is application.json. And then another thing is we have our own authorization API key. So what I can do is take that and then take that, and we're going to build a Uh, we're going to build basically a model. So we're going to map the variables that the JSON needs and the request. So let's get started. So we are going to parse the okay, let's see why that's not. We're trying to make a post request. What do I have in the? And then what I'm going to do, I should probably hide the key, right? So we'll just create a new directory called constants. And then within constants, we'll have a new Dart file called also constants. And we'll do oh, whoops. I don't really think I need to add a class. I shouldn't. But it did work. So oh, I just don't need it to be static. That's what it is. So might as well just go ahead and take this link. Paste it here. Now, the problem is that for some reason it's not recognizing HTTP, which okay. Let me just try to add it one more time. Oh, import it as HTTP. There we go. So we're going to post it, and then we want to post the base link. So um, we're going to do the API link. So do I already have? I do have completions. So just do that. Then we got headers. And for the headers, we have two different things. So like I mentioned, we have, when we did it here, we have the content type, which is applications.json or slash, but then we also have the authorization, which is the bearer token and your unique ID. So let's go ahead and I'll show you how to set that up. So headers is going to take a map and we're going to map whoops. And then the other thing that we need is that bearer token or the authorization. And for that, we want the API key. So this is the foundation of our request, but we also need the body. So let's add that. This is also going to be a map. And what I'm going to do to make it simple is just take this. So if we go into the body, we're just going to take this entire thing and then paste it. So we specify the model, which is GPT 3.5 Turbo. The message has the role as well as the content. And I'm just going to clean up the way this looks. And then there's a temperature. So what this is doing is this is sending the same thing we had within Postman. All of this, these headers, this authorization to this link. We're doing that within our code. So ideally, we're going to get a response similar to this. And I'll show you how to break that down in a second. So let's go ahead and take that. And then I'm just going to print response. Just to show that we got something. So let's save that. Let's just wait for it to reload. Okay. Oh, so I'm actually not calling the function. So on init state, I don't know what's going on with that. Oh, it's stateless. So we're going to take init state and we're also going to run send request. And what we should be getting Oh, and I have a static string. Oh, I copied a little bit too much. There we go. So let's rerun that one more time and we should get the response that we're looking for. Oh, I left it as a, actually, hold on. Actually, no, I feel like that should be. We want to post. Let's just go through this. Get rid of that. Okay, API key application. Let's try this again. I know JSON doesn't like comments or commas, but I feel like that still shouldn't be. Body fields of a request. Oh, whoops. So let's take all of this. I forgot to encode it. So we're going to encode all of this as JSON and then send it. And what that should give us so it printed an instance of response. So what that means is that we got something, but we now have to parse it. So probably should have just said response.body. But here's what we can do. So let's do. So we need to decode the response, and the easiest way to do that is with JSON decode, and the source is going to be response. And what that is going to give a, oh, and we just want the body text. So let's go ahead and take that. Oh, whoops. And I forgot to print it. So we do eventually want to check for errors, but at first I just want to show you what it looks like. So we're going to run this one more time. And then we sent hello, this is a test. And we got hello, how can I assist in this test? So we actually got the same response. How can I assist you with this test? So we got the same response. Now what we need to do is actually parse that response into exactly what we need, which is just this part right here, the content. So easiest way to do that, sorry. That shouldn't be that bad, but at least now we're getting the answer. So before we print, let's just check for a few errors just to make sure that it's valid, because we don't want to break our application. Well, actually for now, it should be fine. So we take the decoded response, and then what we're actually going to do is return, and I know we don't have a return type right now, but let's do it here. So decoded response, but we don't want the whole thing, right? We just want let's see let's traverse this real quick. So we want in the response, we want the body, choices, message, choices 0, message, content. Decoded response, choices 0, message, message, content. Whoops. And I'm actually going to put this right here, copy this. So let's just run this again, and it should just print the response. So just waiting. Hello, how can I assist you with this test? So now we know that we can send a message and we can get a response back. So how do we get a useful prompt from the user? And then how do we actually display it? So let's start with getting input from the user. So for that, we're actually going to go into the body, and we're going to start styling this, this whole application. So for the text, let's do app bar, color scheme inverse primary. Okay, whatever. So for the text, we're just going to do ChatGPT. And then for the center, you know what? I'm just going to do, this is all really bad. I should be styling it, but I'll just show you. So I think the ChatGPT actually has, it's actually totally white. So we can actually do something similar pretty easily. But first let's just get the user to answer stuff. So in the body, we want a scaffold. Oh, sorry. In the body, we want a column. And the elements we want to be spaced between. Main axis alignment is space between. And cross axis alignment. And then for the children, the first thing that we want is, well, eventually we're going to have information in a list, but for now we don't have any prompts. So we'll fill it with some dummy text for now. So the bottom thing that we're going to have, so let's do text and just say, what did we call this up here? Prompt. We'll just say, or we'll say, ask me a question. So when we save that, we should get some text right up here. Ask me a question. And then on the other side of the column, what we want is going to be a somewhere where we can input. So let's see. Let's do a text field. And then we'll want to style it eventually. But just to show you, oh, it's infinitely small. But you can see there's this little line at the bottom right here. And it actually opens. So that's good. But now we got to style it. So let's get started on that. So eventually we're going to make it useful. But the biggest thing that we want is we're going to need a text editing controller. We actually want to wait. And then an init state, we're going to create the text editing controller. And then we're also going to have a destroy or dispose. where we're going to get rid of the text editing controller if we go to a different page or whatever. So okay. So what's going on? Let me see something. Oh my gosh. I totally messed this up. I didn't realize I was in the, I missed that. Wait. Yeah, that was bad. Whoops. I can't believe I did that. So my app is stateless. I can't believe I did that. Whoops. Okay, so what's going on? Whoa. Controller, text editing controller. We want text style. With white color and probably we'll do a font size of 18, might be the default. Let's do 22. Actually, we can just keep all that default. For now. Because I think a bigger thing is just going to be styling it. So pretty much everything is white on the OpenAI API. So the biggest thing that we want to do is we want to track what text is on the inside. So that's with the onSubmitted function. So we want to take the value. And then what we're going to do is, this is what gets sent to send request. So send request. And since it's async, we're going to want to So now we've got that. When we did I unstate the wrong thing? Okay, whatever. I definitely made a huge mistake, but I think we recovered. So the biggest thing is going to be when we submit text, we want to send a request. And I think that we need to send the text. So let's send the text dot text. And then in the function, we want to receive that. So we're going to take string prompt. We're going to send the text editing controller text as a prompt. Oh. So now what we can do, I'll show you this real quick. We can actually, hello. So it's updating every time, but then when I actually send it, I didn't update the prompt. So the content is going to be prompt. But you can see that it sends off a request and then receives that. So now we're pretty close to being done. The only thing is we want to save whatever response we get, and then we're going to return that. So we're going to go here and we're going to change the return type to string. So we're actually going to have a list of strings, and we're going to call it responses. And then what we're going to do is every time that we send something, we're going to add to responses. Do I still have it? Nice. So we're going to add this. And then every time that we get a response, we're also, instead of printing it, we're going to add it to responses. Oh, wait, no. We're going to add decoded response content. So hopefully this makes sense, what we're starting to do. Oh, hey, thanks for joining. I'm a software engineer, but this is more of like just a personal project. Oh, whoops, misspelled it. Why can responses not be? What's going on? So there's ways to make this more optimized. But that's kind of the easiest way. So now the final thing is, instead of a text prompt, what we want is a list view dot builder, item builder, and we're going to have a text component. I think that's how you do it, right? Let's see. And then the text that we want is going to be, so we want responses at index. And then the item count. That's the item builder, and then the item count is going to be responses.length. And that should work. So when we start, there's nothing there. Oh, and I'm breaking. I think I need this in an expanded, right? So let's send something. Okay. So when I send it, whoops, because I didn't set state. So actually, like if I save right now, should appear. But I need to actually Okay, cool. So requesting a test, what specific test? And then I can say Nanya. And if I go ahead and save, Nanya business. So at least you can see how this is starting to build itself out. So the weird thing is that it's not actually building immediately, um, which is interesting. So let me go ahead and I really do want to finish this if I can. Um, but this list view, let's see. Okay, responses index. So we're going to stylize this input real quick just to kind of help me. Um, height is going to be, let's do, actually, first let me just make, let's just restart this. The fact that it's not updating is actually kind of strange because the set state should be updating that. Okay. So So let's just. Oh, you know what? Let me just send this one more time. And make sure that it's not updating itself. Because it may be waiting on this and then setting the state. Somehow it's not triggering a rebuild of this list view. Okay. So maybe setting a listener on a provider would help. Or maybe making this asynchronous is throwing it off. Okay, there we go. So it's getting thrown off by that, but then it's not getting updated here. So let's just go ahead and what we're going to do is wrap this in a set state. There we go. So now I can ask something like, and it should automatically update when it gets a response. Boom. Okay. And it's scrollable. Ooh, it's kind of stretchy. That's weird. Never seen that. But okay. So now we at least have the main structure of our app. So I think I have to end it here, but no, I can definitely keep going. Um so let's just keep going and at least get the style done. And then in another video I can clean it up. Okay. So we're going to take this text widget. It would be smart to create a custom component for this, but for now I'm just going to kind of spit it all on the screen. I can do it. Return chat response. So let's just add a new directory for components. And then in that, we are going to add a new Dart file. And this can be a stateless widget. And we actually want some variables for this. So what we're going to have is a column. And then the children are going to be let's do a container. Child is going to be a text. No. Text. And it's going to be input text. And the color is going to be is response. If it is a response, we want gray or a white 70. And if not, we want white. And we don't have either of these, so this is going to be a string. Okay. And then we want a Boolean that is response. And so this is also going to be required. So what we're doing here is we're checking, is this a response or is this from the user? If it's a response, it's going to be a little more gray. If it's from the user, it's pure white. And then the text that we're passing is going to either be the prompt that we send or the response that we get back. So let's do is response. Should probably import the right thing. Input text is going to be responses at index, and the is response is going to be index mod 2 is equal to 1. It doesn't really look like I'm getting the color that I want. So let's do the lowest black that we can. So for now, we'll just stick with that. Actually, instead of doing that, what if we do a box decoration? And then border, um, radius, box, shadow, gradient, border, all. We want a black. Width, we want 2.0. Actually, we want 1. Style is fine, but we do want the color to be black. 12. Oh, I forgot it hates that. Because they both have that, so border from border side. I've never done a border on only one side. Okay, so let's leave the border alone. Okay, so we will just do it like that. And then we definitely want some margin or padding. Horizontal, we want 8. And vertical, we want, let's do 6. That looks a little more like a message, right? That looks a little bit better. We need to do something about this text bar down here. So let's stylize that a little bit. So let's see, easiest way to do that. I'm pretty sure we can just give it a Okay. So we have this text field. Oh, whoops. So this will be the last thing that I do. We're going to take this and just add a icon button. And on pressed, we're going to have the same function that we have on submit. But the input text isn't going to be responses at index. The input text is going to be the controller's text editing controller.text. And oh, well, we don't even need that. Hold on, what did I just do? This is what I meant to do. Sorry. And async await. Send. I think white is the default, but we'll just leave it like that. Okay. Row children. Main axis alignment space between. Oh, so it's not around that, it's around the row. So okay, cool. So now we've got that, and for some reason the button is just visible. Okay, so why is the icon button color? But it definitely is starting to look like an app. So I'm actually going to have to cut it right there. But hopefully, I mean, that really is everything that you need to start building your own chatbot. So I can even say like, boom. So um, that at least gives you a pretty good start. Hopefully that helps. I got to get going. So take care.